perspective shift on energy, non-judgment, and polarity. Welcome back to Becoming Spiritual YouTube channel. I am your host Baba, and today we're gonna speak about these topics again. However, we're gonna speak about it in a different light to really show you how everything is incorporated in your own journey and the importance of it all. So in regards to your own personal spiritual journey, it's not like building a house where you can through your physical eyes see the house being built and you see every step of development. This is more internal, it is more mental and spiritual, because remember the law of mentalism, the universe is mental. So as you begin to shift on these different levels or planes of existence, then you will come to different understandings. And I shouldn't use the word conclusions. You will come to many conclusions because your perspective as you ascend through these states of consciousness or planes of existence, you will begin to have different conclusions and ideas as to how certain things work. But on your own journey, it's very important that you understand that you cannot you will have to understand that everything is energy. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Even if you take a stone and you use it to build a house, stone, right? Look at it as energy. As an example, right? We can talk about energy in regards to spirits and us as entities and living things and all of that, but every single thing that you see around you, it has a state of consciousness. Doesn't matter what it is, right? It can even seem inanimate. It still has a state of consciousness because it's made from the elements, right? So every single thing has a state of consciousness. And the better or the more positive energy something receives from you, the better its response will be to you. So the idea is energy, non-polarity, judgment. You will have to reach a state of non-judgment within situations in your life, within your own self, within just being in the middle. And that's why we dedicated an entire lecture to duality, because it's very important. Because it's not about being polarized, but standing in the middle and being able to shift the tide or the current of any particular situation, event, or even person. Right? When you are able to not be polarized towards a particular way of thinking, a particular situation, person, or anything, then you are able to basically control that situation. For example, even in regards to hate, when you hate somebody, you are polarized towards them negatively. It's okay to despise, but to hate, you're polarizing yourself. So feel free to despise them, for you know that you're not really appreciative of how they are as people. But when you become hateful, you are being controlled by them. You're not in control of yourself anymore, right? So and that really ties into that non-judgment aspect. So it's important that you understand everything, everyone is energy, and you are energy. Through going inwards, you will be able to shift your external world. For example, people who are paranoid, for example, it's a form of polarization because they see the negative in everything, but they're unable to see a possible alternate reality or alternate perspective unless it's directly shown to them, right? So they're unable to think in a more positive light about any given situation because their mindset is set on that negative outlook or perspective or reality. So what is happening is that spiritually they are polarized in a negative reality, and they are unable, because the reality is whatever you look for, right? If you believe the worst of everything, then your mind, your conscious reality will shift into a dimension that will align with that belief. Which is why you can't exactly tell a Christian that Jesus wasn't crucified, because they are in that reality. Because we're going to have to go into some quantum dimensions, quantum physics, alternate realities, multiverse type of discussion, getting into all of that, right? But just understand that belief creates reality. And when you remain within a state of neutrality within self, which can only be achieved through the same work that we consider fundamental in the spiritual line of thought, which is balancing your chakras and meditating and becoming the center of self, then you will experience something beautiful, because then you can choose in any given situation how you want to act, how you want to respond, right? And you can, at that point, see the good, quote unquote, because there is no such thing as good and evil. You can see the positive and negatives of self. You can objectively look at self, improve self, and you can stand in between self in true love and self-acceptance. And we'll have to speak about that self-love going forward, right? But definitely, this is what I wanted to bring you guys to your attention to in this particular video. Non-judgment, polarity, and a perspective shift on energy. Everything is energy. And this is the reason why magic works. When we start to discuss magic, you'll understand why it works. Because if you can, within your own subconscious mind, implant something so deep, it's almost like the movie Inception, where you go into people's dreams and they plant ideas or seeds for them to behave in particular ways. If you can plant something within, remember, as within, so without, within your subconscious, within your spirit, within that deeper unconscious mental plane, then you will see it manifesting in your conscious reality. And this is the beauty of magic, right? Because all magic you really do on self, true self at least, if not on self, right? So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll definitely have a lot more to speak about before we get into the inner workings as to applying metaphysical knowledge in regards to practicing different forms of things, right? But definitely, guys, within yourself at least at first. And remember, it doesn't really matter what experiences you go through. If it destroys you or if it makes you uncomfortable, it's teaching you something. Whether about this life or about people, it's teaching you something. And it's giving you the propulsion to become greater, especially if it's a negative situation. Positivity doesn't really lend much room for growth, but it lends room for embrace and all of the necessary aspect of human or of a spiritual embrace, right? So take care, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Definitely check out my book on Amazon, Becoming Spiritual, a comprehensive guide to finding yourself. Definitely hit the notification icon and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. And stay tuned. With peace and gratitude, take care.